Hey guys, Tiff Travels the World here. So, I have been back in Vegas from my beautiful trip in Tanzania, the safari of a lifetime. And it's cold here. Yes, I'm in my house. I got a jacket on and sweats. Tanzania was like 80, 85. It was amazing. So, I wanted to tell you guys about Tanzania. If you've ever considered going on a safari in Africa, I think it is the perfect place to go because there were no times where I had to use an outhouse. There were no times where there was no toilet paper. Everything was quite convenient. The roads seemed to be in pretty good shape. The people were amazing. There was always an opportunity to see most of the animals. When it comes to the big five that people want to see, I saw every one of them and more. If you saw my pictures, they were amazing. My hyena encounter was amazing. They're my favorite animal. And what's funny about that encounter is my guide actually started playing a video of a hyena making a call as if he had found food. Now, the hyenas came all out of their hole. They came from secret areas out into like I was looking out into the field and all of a sudden they started popping their heads up. It was just so amazing because he knew the hyenas were my favorite animal. He told me that most people didn't like them, that they're sort of like raccoons, which he had never seen. But when he explained to me like how they just like run around and rummage trash, cause problems, and that he'd seen a hyena before take down like a pregnant deer, and he said it was so vicious, like he couldn't even stand it because they just ripped the stomach open. I mean, that would have been horrible for anyone, honestly. And when I'm on safari, this time we saw a zebra catch, a deer catch, and another catch that was up in a tree that we could see a body of, but we couldn't really see what it was. So I'm not a person that wants to see the actual kill. And he said that there's some people that come there and actually want him to do things to get people to be able to see the kill and the action. And I'm like, what do you mean? How can you like make Mother Nature kill if they don't want to? And he's like, yeah, some people just have all these expectations. So I think that playing the video for me was just like kicking it up a notch because I definitely didn't ask him to do it. And I didn't know if it would really cause harm to Mother Nature if they heard that weird laughter that indicates that they caught something. But anyway, it was a great time, guys. And I recommend Tanzania if you're not like a person that's used to traveling, but you want to try safari. Because, like I said, it was pretty easy going, pretty mellow. Most of the places had Wi Fi. And if they were not right in the room, they were at least in the lobby. So, anyway, I visited Namibia before. I'm going to go across all around Africa to the places that I visited. Namibia, that was a great place to visit and have safari as well. Those particular trucks were not Land Rovers at the time when I went. We actually got in little, like, more like a smaller cart. And not as small as like a golf cart, but it was smaller. And we actually had a guy with a weapon in case something were to pop off because we weren't enclosed like my bigger, you know, safari truck that I had there, which was like a Toyota Land Cruiser. Anyway, so I would say Namibia, more in nature, using the outhouses. We had a big spider in the outhouse. I remember my friend was tripping over. Great experience. Some of them, of the animals, actually had tracking devices on them there, so you could go right in the area and find them. Not like right away, but have sort of a vicinity of where they were. So that was kind of cool. And there was a snake, but we didn't find it. But the guy said we were in the area. I don't really care about finding a snake. That's like creepy. Yeah, I don't need to find a snake, especially out in the wilderness. Um, but anyways, so I've been to Egypt. I know some people don't consider that Africa, but it is totally amazing. Been to Morocco, same thing, part of Africa. Amazing leather buys there. Amazing knockoffs, like better than the real. The leather game is fierce out there. Great vacation spot. Um, I have a list here so I don't forget of anything in Africa. So, anyways, I can't even read my own writing. Can you believe this? So, Kenya on a safari, and that's where I actually had a Maasai warrior, my friend El Mantu, who was my driver, had a big Land Cruiser to myself as well. And he actually had us dressed alike in the same outfit. So it was pretty cool. Love the trip with him. A lot of times I will tell the truth in different countries. Sometimes they don't wear deodorant, so it can be kind of bothersome. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. It can be bothersome and overwhelming at times. But my last trip, perfect. There was nothing going on like that was like bothering me. Just had to throw that up there. But anyway, I've been to Ethiopia. There was this thing called hewn churches. If you check it out, they are churches that are built into the side of mountains, handmade, hand dug out. They're believed these people are blessed by God. Their hands are blessed by God, and they actually make these churches that are just amazing. And that was basically what my tour was about in Ethiopia, but amazing. The African people are amazing, very polite, very educated. Most Africans are actually more educated than we want to give them credit for. If they are able to go to school, very educated, very looking forward to having better jobs. Just they don't really have the opportunities that we have. And we don't really have to take jobs seriously here in America, I feel like, because you can go and find another one. But in these places, the opportunity is not always there, but the people do try to remain ready. They try to educate themselves, and they believe in the importance of education, believe it or not, even though sometimes they can't afford it. So Uganda, I went gorilla trekking. We actually went around looking for gorilla. The guy that we had spoke like the language of the gorilla a little bit and was like making these sounds and stuff and watching the behavior, making sure that the silverback wasn't ready to go crazy on us. And like, he actually was making noises. Like I can't do it, but like it was really a thing, and we had to keep our distance, but we were so close. We were within 4 feet. They were running by. We actually went to see a pygmy tribe there in Uganda, little pygmy people that were kind of kicked out of the forest and forced into this one area. And as people, throughout, as time goes on, people are trying to make money off of these people. So just like when I went into the Maasai village and they took me right to the schoolhouse and inside the little hut, I mean, it's still genuine. But those people normally wouldn't have like a relationship with somebody in the community. But now they've made it to where you can pay them a little bit money and it'll go towards their schools, their health, different things that, different possibilities that they wouldn't have before. A lot of them do have medicine men or different materials like, I guess, flowers and plants and stuff like that they use for medicinal purposes. But I think they probably could use someone on the outside to help them. And just like this last person that I was saying that kind of was trying to con me at the store and say that he wanted to go to school and that he got fired and all this stuff. So there's other opportunities to get out of the Maasai lifestyle if you really want to. And the families don't want them to like basically become, part of the modern day. But when they realize like it can buy more cows and stuff like that, then sometimes they start to like assimilate a little bit more. But basically the culture is pretty genuine at this time still. Nomadic. They're moving around with those cows. They're just drinking blood and eating cows. But anyways, I just want to tell you, I've been all across Africa. I worked in a place called Djibouti before. Y'all probably never even heard of it. It was miserable when I went there because it was like the thing about Africa, they burn trash. So when I went there, I stayed for a few nights for work, and all the clothes that I had, I literally had to just get rid of because the smoke was infiltrated so deeply in my clothes, and I couldn't believe that they were just burning trash constantly. So that's probably why. Anyway, I have asthma, and I developed it at a late age. Anyway, but being in these other countries and stuff like that with all the smoke, India is a place that's very congested, very poor quality of air. But I'm just saying, like, it happens when you're exposed to all these different things. And people always ask me, like, well, would you want to move to Africa? And there's a lot of people that are kind of supporting the movement in certain areas. Maybe not the safari areas that I've been on, but personally, myself, I would not want to live in Africa. Okay, South Africa is sort of like, has beautiful water, beautiful homes. It has like a kind of Cali vibe in that manner, but there's still always nonsense going on as far as the infrastructure. Like, there's a lot of flooding that occurs. The roads aren't done, up to our standards. So you couldn't just get a car and then start driving all around there. And like in America, how we can drive from one state to the other, there you need a visa to drive to the next area. Then some areas are not safe. A lot of the Africans don't get along with other Africans. Other people speaking different tribal languages actually sometimes are fighting with others. There's a lot of just things that go on over there. I was in one of the countries over there, and they were having a fire that they were building in the middle of the road to keep people from coming to the area that I was, looking at animals, sort of like a safari in a particular area. And they didn't want any more tourism there. So they started a fire, and we were kind of stuck in the area. Now, I will tell you, I felt like, why are you doing this? You're keeping tourism out when they actually are employing some people here. But I guess the people that weren't employed were angry that somebody else, a white person, owned those lands or was taking the opportunity to do things with it. And believe it or not, those white people were South Africans. But just because the color, they're like, no, we don't want them to have that. So anyways, there's a lot of crime throughout politics over there in Africa. So a lot of times there's different just things going on that you wouldn't encounter here in America. And as far as your safety, yeah, you can always have pay someone. It's like in New Mexico, Mexico or other places like that. You could pay somebody to keep you safe, but you just don't always know how safe you are as a person, as an outsider. Like I said, many of the countries in Africa, they were thinking I was a white woman, and I kept on saying, no, I'm a black woman. But they're they're really dark skinned for the most part. So they don't really understand all that until I explain to them. And then they're just like, whatever, you're still rich American. And so then you're going to have those people that want to take advantage of you. And then you're going to have the people that just love you and genuinely want to be your friend. But it happens either way. So I was just letting y'all know about my Africa trips. Did I mention everywhere? South Africa. What else is on here? I wrote so sloppy. But anyways, I wanted to tell you about Namibia. This is a cool thing about there. Think about how many times you've seen a shooting star in your life. Probably very rare, right? Like, I haven't seen any, honestly, for years. In Namibia, you could look at the sky and literally within every 1 minute, you would see a shooting star. It was the most amazing thing for me in my life. I remember it still to this day. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it was amazing. So I'm just talking to you about my African trips today. They are amazing. They are places that I will never forget. But I would not want to live there. Maybe a few months or something like that. But America, excuse me, we have the opportunities here. And never forget that. Oh, I gotta go, y'all. I'm coughing. Tiff travels the world. I'm out.